I've said on this channel on more than one occasion that what the president wants is subordinate to environmental factors. Meaning the president may go into office and have certain things in their heads in regards to what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, the limits to which they may go. And those things, again, are to some degree carried along the winds of environmental factors. FDR didn't want to get into the First or the Second World War. In fact, after they sunk one of our ships, he came out and called for neutrality in one of his radio speeches. That didn't last all that long, environmental factors. Donald Trump is no FDR, but Donald Trump has seemed, despite the brinksmanship and despite ratcheting up tensions in the Middle East artificially to this somewhat of a fever pitch, he doesn't seem to want a war. The point seems to be the brinksmanship in order to get political concessions. It's clownish in regards to his knowledge of Iran in this case, meaning he has no capacity to get those. That the strategy is not going to work because there's nobody there to deal with him. We burned the moderates when the U.S. pulled out of the deal, when Trump pulled out of the deal, and made it that much worse, ratcheting up tensions and threatening the government. No government will capitulate under those terms. And yet, you sometimes can go over the cliff. What the president wants is subordinate to environmental factors. What I would guarantee to you, Donald Trump at no point thought that Saudi oil fields would get hit. He assumed that Iran would just stand there and take it. He didn't predict that the ships would get taken, meaning when Iran took the ship after Britain took theirs off the coast of Spain. And I strongly suspect he didn't think they'd shoot the drone out of the sky when it was flying over their territory. I believe it was flying over their territory. I don't buy the US story on this. Houthis hit the Saudi oil fields. Oil spikes, like 5% of the oil fields go up in flames. Everybody is asking Trump, are you going to strike Iran? And if you remember, this is almost like the second or third time where they were asking him, are you going to hit Iran? Are you going to hit Iran? Are you going to hit Iran? Everybody says they're guilty despite Houthis saying we did it. Are you going to hit Iran? They asked him the same thing after the drone. And in both situations, he demurred and pulled back in order to save some face to say, yeah, we're going to send troops, but we're not going to get into this larger conflict. And yeah, we believe somebody acted stupidly at the controls when they shot our drone down flying in their airspace. How long can you do that? How long can you do that? How many face-saving maneuvers can you do in the pursuit of your brinksmanship to get political concessions that you're never going to get? Yesterday, tanker in Iran was hit by what's believed to be 2 missiles. There were 2 explosions on the tanker. And with those 2 explosions on the tanker, it was leaking oil and burning in the Red Sea. Oil spiked 2% just on that news by itself. Now, why? It's not entirely just because it's the tanker. Iran is doing an investigation into this, and they're trying to come to some idea on who's guilty and who's responsible. If it is indeed deemed to be a rocket attack, which at this point, that's what media is reporting, and if that rocket attack, oh, by the way, they're on the coast of Saudi Arabia. If that rocket attack was deemed coming from Saudi Arabia, do you believe that Iran will respond? Let that sink in for the moment. Let that sink in. 2 separate explosions, possibly caused by missile attacks, have hit an Iranian oil tanker operated by the National Iranian Tanker Company near Saudi port city of Jeddah in what Tehran calls a quote-unquote dangerous adventure. Because if they are hit, they will respond, just like they've responded in all of these other cases. I mean, think about it for the moment. This is tit for tat. You take their ship, they take one of yours. You fly your drone overhead, they shoot it out the sky. They're just. You set the rule set, right? You took their ship first. How are they wrong for taking yours? And you're flying a drone into their sovereign airspace. How are they wrong for shooting it out the sky? We do the same. In both of these situations, though, the public in this country looked at it as if this is brinksmanship, missing the point that the brinksmanship was coming from us. They were just responding in sort of a tact. Saudi oil fields get hit. Saudi Arabia blames Iran. A tanker of Iran's off the port city of Saudi Arabia gets hit by what is considered to be 2 missile strikes. What would Iran do if this is indeed deemed coming from Saudi Arabia? Oil up 2% just on the news of the tanker being hit. The explosions have hit the vessel hull, causing heavy damages to the vessel's 2 main tanks, which will result in oil spills into the Red Sea. The spill is currently stopped, according to officials. Technical experts are currently investigating the cause of the explosion. They believe it was a quote-unquote terrorist attack, unnamed sources told the Iranian student news agency. The statement by NITC said this body tanker was hit by 2 separate explosions at 5 and 5:20 a.m., probably after being struck by missiles. It said the crew is currently safe and none of them have been harmed by the explosion. The tanker is currently in stable condition, statement added. This video is not meant to be long. It's just kind of give a heads up of what is taking place, and not sexy news, just from a standpoint of what could be the result of this if that investigation, legit or otherwise, says Saudi Arabia was the culprit. We will see. I'll tell you this, it doesn't help. It does not help. But not jumping to conclusions on who's responsible. I'm also just kind of making the case that it doesn't help. Tensions in this region have been inflated based on Donald Trump's actions. And I strongly suspect that there's a bit of asymmetrical warfare going on dealing with Houthis and those type of things. Iran put out a peace plan for the area. Essentially a plan to try to bring down tensions. I think they realized the last thing they want is a war. And maybe some of the reporting had it that Saudi Arabia was considering this, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes. The investigation is pending. We await their word on who they deem responsible. And by the way, who they deem responsible is not necessarily as a flat fact true any more than Saudi Arabia screaming that it was Iran that hit them when it very well could have been the Houthis with a bump, maybe from somewhere else. I'll leave it here. I don't want this video to be long. This video was more so just an update. Kathy Garcia Minicola. Hey Jamal, I watch your videos every day, but rarely catch you live. Very cool. Well, welcome to the show. Terrorist attack, yeah, by the CIA, I'm sure. Edward Klein. It could have been. I mean, I honestly don't know. It's unclear on what's taking place. They're just saying there was an investigation. They're just 2 missile strikes. This just happened, so at this point, we're just waiting to hear more information. But terrorist attack, terrorist is a relative term. We'll see. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks all. But look, it's a missile attack, or it seemed to be a missile attack or a rocket attack. Who has incentive? Who has capability? And who will will to action? Those are the questions, right? Like, share, subscribe.